What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Monday Night Raw review. This one from December 26th, 1994, episode 92, I want to say, if I'm keeping track the correct way of Monday Night Raw history. And this one is the last one for the year of 1994. I'm going to be taking a little bit of a hiatus, maybe a month, maybe two, before I upload the start of 1995 reviews. So getting into the actual show, the card gets announced for tonight by Vince. Shawn and Vince get joined by the Million Dollar Man because Tatanka is taking on the British Bulldog in the first match of the show. We skip to the end of the match. DiBiase causes the Bulldog to fall out of the ring, so Lex Luger runs out, goes after DiBiase, but Tatanka stops him, and Luger turns his attention to him always like an idiot. Bigelow comes out, and this turns into a 2-on-2 brawl. The result of the match is a double disqualification, if that matters to anybody. But yeah, Luger and the Bulldog taking on Tatanka and Bam Bam Bigelow probably next week. But moving on from that, as we're probably going to keep seeing this feud go on between Luger and the Million Dollar Stable, we then get a promo during the Royal Rumble report from Bret Hart. He says he's had a good Christmas and he's in good spirits, even with what happened at Survivor Series. He's taken this time to rest up and wishes everyone a happy New Year's, except for Owen Hart. Keeping kayfabe alive, I love it. And then Henry Godwin making his WWF debut on Monday Night Raw. He hits the slap drop for the win over a jobber. The move is a reverse DDT, so we have this character now to look forward to, or to be honest, probably going to be one of the ones that I skip. But he's actually not going to be featured that much, so it won't be that much that I really have to pay attention to when he comes out. Speaking of making a debut, we see a video promo for Hakushi, who is also going to be coming soon in one of these episodes coming down the line. He'll probably be at the Royal Rumble. They have been doing this quite often, actually, in the last 2 years, where they say that somebody's coming in and they come in around the Royal Rumble time. Then we get a King's Court. Jerry Lawler makes fun of a couple people in the crowd before introducing his guest, the WWF champion, Diesel. This is pretty interesting the way that wrestling works. A couple months ago, maybe even last month, Diesel was good friends with Jerry Lawler. He even got help from him when they beat up Bret Hart. But now Lawler asks for a handshake, but Diesel looks into the camera with a smug look and shakes Jerry's hand, but he gives him a tight grip. The King says that Shawn allowed him to become the WWF champion, and it should be HBK who should be the champion instead. While Lawler keeps going on and on, Diesel keeps looking over to Shawn at commentary. Jerry brings up Bret Hart and asks if Diesel regrets giving Bret a title shot. At first, it sounded like Jerry was behind Hart just because he was facing Diesel, and I was going to say it didn't make any sense because so far Bret and the King have been nothing but enemies. But Lawler then says that he wishes both of them to take each other out so that neither of them are the WWF. Just like earlier with Bret wishing everybody but Owen Hart a Happy New Year. Nice little touch there in terms of keeping the storylines and the feuds and babyface and all that stuff that's going on. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Diesel then snatches the mic from him and tells him that his wish is for him to shut his mouth. Diesel takes his crown and tosses Jerry out of the ring. He poses with the crown and the title to end the segment. Not much from Shawn Michaels, who was sitting right there. Didn't Diesel say he was gonna get his hands on Shawn Michaels the next time that he saw him? But they're right next to each other, same venue, same arena. But Diesel didn't really think to go after him, I guess. Next, they recap some more of the tag team title tournament. The Heavenly Bodies move on over the Bushwhackers. Then Quang picks up a win with a spinning leg kick over a jobber. They continue the Howard Finkel and Harvey Whippleman storyline during this match with an on-screen video from the Fink. I would like to say this is stupid, but come on, you can't really hate on Howard Finkel. Like, for some reason, anytime that I see Howard Finkel, I just can't help but smile. Like, he just has a lovable face to him. I don't know. Pause, but yeah. Next, we have an interview with Vinnie Pacienza, I think. Who? I don't know. It looks like he's a boxer. Never heard of him. He's taking on Roberto Duran in January of 1995. His nickname is the Tasmanian Devil because he's crazy. He talks crap to Shawn Michaels as well. Don't know much about boxing. And because the WWF likes to hire C-listers to come onto their show, I couldn't really tell you if this was a big deal at the time or not. So we'll see if Vinny makes another appearance for them after this fight. Is WrestleMania the next one 11 where all those celebrities come out, like that kid? I think like one of the guy, obviously Pam Anderson is there, and then I think that's where this guy comes out and he's like the ring announcer or something at WrestleMania 11 for that title match. But and then who's the Lawrence Taylor. Yeah, Lawrence Taylor comes out. There was a bunch of celebrities that came out, but I don't remember if this was for WrestleMania 11 or 10, where this Vinny guy. Well, obviously I would have remembered if he was at WrestleMania 10, and I don't remember him at all. Yeah, so I think Vinny is gonna be at WrestleMania 11, but he doesn't really do much there, as I can remember. Sorry about the spoiler there. Then Vince throws to a new reporter backstage. Stephanie, not McMahon, asks DiBiase if he accepts the challenge from Luger and Bulldog to take on Tatanka and Bam Bigelow. He looks reluctant, but accepts anyways. So, like I mentioned in the last review for last week's episode, it looks like we're going to be getting that match. Lex Luger and British Bulldog taking on Tatanka and Bam Bam Bigelow from the Million Dollar Corporation. Then The Undertaker takes on Brooklyn Brawler, and the crowd was going wild for Taker during this match. He hits a tombstone and gets the win. After the match, when the lights go out, IRS comes out with two druids as the show goes off the air. So not much really there in terms of ending the show with anything that really excites anybody. Seeing as this was the last episode of the year, I would have thought they would have done a little bit more. But obviously, The Undertaker, a big name. He's in a feud with the IRS, so that's how they end the segment and the show. So whatever. I'm gonna give this episode a bad grade once again. They're intertwining more storylines into the show, which is good, but the storylines and wrestlers are just not clicking for me. Right now, my top four wrestlers would probably be Shawn Michaels, Owen Hart, Bret Hart, and legit, I think I would have to say Mr. Bob Backlund. That gimmick is really working for some reason with me. Diesel, as the monster heel that he was, would probably make my top five, but as this babyface champion that he is right now, he's really awkward and corny, so I wouldn't really say that he's one of my favorite wrestlers right now. Like, if Lex Luger and Diesel had a baby from like this era, like 1994 Diesel and 1994 Lex Luger, if they had a baby, it would probably come out to be Roman Reigns. The wrestling ability of Luger and the babyface charisma of Diesel. But yeah, top five, it would probably be a tie between Taker and Racer for that last spot. And just to get a couple things out of the way, because it is the last episode, I am going to be resetting the tally board for next year like it did for 1993 going into 1994. Let's take a look here. The 1994 tally board, we had no great shows, 18 good and 28 bad episodes. I'm also going to be putting the overall tally board, so that's going to be obviously everything from 1993 up until now. And as you can see, bad episodes from 1994 really almost caught up to the overall good shows for Monday Night Raw history. That's that. I'm also going to be having the power rankings again in my next review, starting off the year 1995 for the end of the year power rankings of 1994. But yeah, with everything being said, in terms of 1994 for Monday Night Raw, actually for WWF in general, I think like the pay per view started out being good. The Royal Rumble was fine. WrestleMania and the King of the Ring, I think, were some of their best shows. SummerSlam started off hot, and then it just kind of fell off. I don't even remember what the main event for SummerSlam was. Oh no, it was Undertaker versus Undertaker. I thought it was Owen and Bret in that steel cage. But SummerSlam was decent, and then Survivor Series just kind of fell off. Some of the matches and storylines in there were good, but I wouldn't say, yeah, it just kind of fell off at the end. But in terms of like Monday Night Raw by itself, if I was just grading that, it was not a good year for Raw episodes. If this is like a couple years from now, everything's probably already out. But if you're watching this real time, probably going to be a couple weeks, maybe a couple months before you see the next episode come out. For the start of 1995, I got to start watching those. I haven't started yet, so I got to do that, get all that ready, and then I'll be putting them out. But obviously, that's behind the scenes stuff that you don't really care about. And if you're still here, why are you still here? Just leave. Go. Leave. Now. Take off. Quavo. Offset. But now, for real, I'm out. Catch you guys on the next one.